The first part of this webinar will be focused on understanding the obligations owed by manufacturers and other economic operators in the supply chain. We'll give a brief outline of the regulatory framework that underpins product safety. We'll look at the obligations to take action and report risks, and identify the key UK regulators for consumer products. And then we'll discuss the freestanding common law duty of care. Next, we'll explore the enforcement and liability risks. And then finally, we'll flag some upcoming regulations that are likely to change the scope of obligations and liability risks in the UK and EU.
So a manufacturer of consumer products owes a common law duty to warn consumers of the risk of personal injury and property damage posed by its products. This general principle in relation to a manufacturer can also apply to others in the product supply chain, particularly to the distributor, if the usual test is satisfied, namely that there exists a relationship of proximity between the parties, and it is fair, just, and reasonable for such a duty to exist. There's a growing body of case law recognizing that this duty extends to A, warning consumers of dangers that become apparent after the supply of the product, and or carrying out an appropriate corrective action with reasonable care. There's no clear answer as to the steps required to discharge this common law duty once a danger has come to light. So a manufacturer or distributor is expected to use reasonable care in the conduct of its commercial activities to prevent personal injury or property damage being caused by its products.
So next we'll look at the enforcement action that the UK authorities can take. So penalties are set at a national level, and you tend to see variation in approaches across the EU. So on this slide, we shared some examples of prosecutions over the past 10 years in the UK. Now, there are a few trends to call out. So prosecutions have historically been quite rare, especially of major corporations, but that is changing. Prosecutions for late reporting are very rare, and this is very different to the approach in the United States, where a failure to report on time can lead to a multi-million-dollar fine. And finally, generally fines are very low. However, one exception was the 2019 prosecution of manufacturer and distributor of baby seats, where the profits made from the product were confiscated.